Appendages of the skin. It includes hair, nails, sebaceous glands and sweat glands. In the previous video, we have discussed about the anatomy of the skin along with its functions. So now in this video, we will discuss the appendages of the skin, starting with the hair. It is a keratinized structure that arises from the epidermis and grows from a specialized structure called the hair follicle. The hair follicle is the invagination of the epidermis into the dermis. The hair basically has three parts, namely hair shaft, hair root and hair bulb. The hair shaft is the visible part of the hair that projects above the surface of the skin. The hair root is the part that lies below the skin surface within the hair follicle. The hair bulb is the enlarged base of the hair root which lies deep in the dermis. It contains rapidly dividing cells responsible for hair growth. Inside the bulb, we can find the hair papilla, which contains capillaries that supply nutrients for hair growth. The hair follicle is associated with sebaceous gland and erector pili muscle. The erector pili is a band of smooth muscle which connects the undersurface of the follicle to the superficial part of the dermis. It is innervated by the sympathetic nerve fibers and it functions involuntarily. When this muscle contracts, it pulls the hair into a vertical position, that is, it produces goosebumps. Its another function includes compressing the sebaceous gland which helps in secretion of sebum. Then we move to nails. These are scale-like modification. Nails are made up of hard keratin and are present on the dorsal aspect of the distal phalanges. Its main function is protection. It takes nearly 90 to 120 days for a whole nail to grow. Its parts include free edge, body or nail plate, root, nail fold, cuticle, lunula. The nail plate, also called as the body, is the hard, visible part of the nail that is made up of keratin. It often appears pink in normal individuals due to the underlying vascular nail bed. The root of the nail is embedded in the skin. It is responsible for the growth of the nail. The free edge is the distalmost part of the nail plate that projects beyond the fingertip and it can be trimmed. Lunula is a crescent-shaped area present at the base of the nail and nail folds are skin surrounding the margins of the nail plate. There are three nail folds, namely two lateral and one proximal nail folds. On the other hand, cuticle is a thin layer of dead skin which grows out of the proximal nail fold onto the body of the nail. It is also known as eponychium. As discussed, the nail plate rests on a highly vascular nail bed. A change in the nail color can help us identify some clinical conditions. Pale nails suggest anemia, yellow nails indicates jaundice, and blue nails are indicative of cyanosis. Nails grow faster in summer and fingernails growth is more rapid when compared to toenails. The sebaceous glands are oil-secreting glands. They are associated with the hair follicle as already seen. So, the oily substance secreted by these glands is called sebum. The functions of the sebaceous glands are to lubricate hair and skin, preventing dryness, providing protection against microbes. The secretions of these glands are released through the mouth of the hair follicle. The sebaceous gland is an example of holocrine gland, which means the entire cell disintegrates to relieve its contents, that is sebum. Blockage of the sebaceous duct causes sebum accumulation that leads to a clinical condition called sebaceous cyst. At last, we have the sweat glands. As the name clearly suggests, they produce sweat, which is 99% water with some salts. It may also contain traces of metabolic waste. It is also known as sudoriferous glands. It is basically a coiled tubular gland that has two parts, a body and a duct. The body is the coiled part and it produces sweat. The duct carries sweat from body of the sweat gland to the skin surface. The important function of sweat gland is thermoregulation. The sweat when evaporates produces a cooling sensation. There are mainly two types of sweat glands. These are eccrine sweat glands and apocrine sweat glands. The eccrine glands are most numerous and produce true sweat. They are example for Merocrine type of glands where sweat is released through exocytosis and there is no disintegration. These glands are controlled by sympathetic cholinergic nerves. On the other hand, the apocrine glands are confined to axilla, eyelids, areola and genital area. These produce special kind of sweat that has odor. And these are also merocrine glands. Ceruminous glands that produce earwax and mammary glands are modified apocrine sweat glands. If sweat glands are lost or destroyed due to burn injuries, skin graft may be necessary. And that wraps up a high-yield overview of the appendages of the skin.